Alhamdulillah, Subhanallah, we thank you Allah, we praise you Allah, for the books you have sent Allah. Alhamdulillah, Subhanallah, we thank you Allah, we praise you Allah, for the books you have sent Allah.
Bam! You're looking at the Underground Railroad. We come on every Saturday night at 10:30. But you know what? But you can catch us on YouTube 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And I am honored today, you know what, to help a brother that I've been knowing for years. And I have a lot of respect for to talk about Islam. Because you know what? This is our duty, is to get dawah. Dawah meaning invite people to Islam. And you go to the Masjid Mayun, you know, how to the brothers of Masjid al-Faruq and Masjid al-Fatih, you know. But I want to thank you, brother. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Okay. And Brother Ali is a very knowledgeable brother. And we're going to talk about Jesus. Peace and blessings be upon him. And how there's just a misunderstanding about how people feel about Jesus or Esau. And please, brother, before we even get started, introduce yourself to the people.
My name is Ali K. Muhammad. I am a former professional fighter.
Okay.
I was blessed to win the Illinois State Junior Welterweight title twice within my career. I am currently an entrepreneur with my own business at the moment.
What was your rank? What was your rank when you was fighting?
My rank, I wasn't ranked, but I did win the Illinois State Junior Welterweight title twice. And I had over 50 professional fights.
Oh, praises do that a lot. You know? And see, I see you beat the shaitan up, though. People don't know what the shaitan is. The shaitan is the devil. Okay. And you won your biggest fight by beating the shaitan. Okay. So, brother, do you want to mention the masjid that you go to, or you prefer not to?
I mean, I go to Masjid Ihsan on 3rd, 9th, and Calumet. I go to Masjid al-Faruq at times on 9th and Stony Island. And I also go to Masjid al-Fatih on 47th and Woodline.
In Chicago?
In Chicago.
Okay. But, brother, you know what? There's a great misunderstanding about how we feel about Jesus. Esau. How do we feel about him? And you know what? One thing, you know what? Would you say that the conception of Jesus or Esau, that Muslims and Christians have the same conception of Esau or Jesus?
No.
Okay.
We have different opinions about who Jesus was.
Okay.
In Islam, as Muslims, we see Jesus as a prophet.
Okay.
From Allah that was sent to the people with the message. But some others, they see him, or they consider him as the Son of God.
Well, I was talking about his birth. His birth.
His birth. Well, he was born from Mary, his mother, without the intervention of a man. It was by Allah's decree that he was born.
Okay. So he was born by Allah's decree. So the first person here, creation of Allah, Adam, was Adam. And he was Adam, right?
Right.
Okay.
That's correct.
And if that was the first creation, why do they not call him God, but they call Jesus? Peace and blessings be upon him, God, in your opinion.
Well, I guess they was directed to believe and to teach that Jesus was, God or the Son of God, within their ideology. But I mean, it's not correct, but that's basically what some people believe. And as you know, we all are entitled to our beliefs.
Yes. And some people say that we don't love Mary because you know what, Marion, which was Jesus's, Esau's mother. But did we not devote a whole chapter to Marion, Mary, and why?
I mean, well, there's a chapter in the Quran.
In the Quran. Uh-huh.
There's a chapter in the Quran entitled upon Mary. And again, Allah is the one that revealed the revelation of the Quran. So it was on Allah's choice to basically have Mary, in the Quran as it is.
Okay. We loved her so much that that it was a whole chapter. I mean, a whole surah. Surah that was devoted to her.
Well, when you say we, I'm not going to see it as like man decide to make a chapter of Mary, but I'm saying the revelation of the Quran, it came from Allah, you know, and that was the name of one of the surahs, which was called Maryam.
Somebody that don't know what surah is, surah is a
chapter.
It's a chapter, okay, for people that they do not know. And there were people that accused Mary of being, saying, how could you conceive something without having a man to impregnate you? Can you explain and give us clarity about that?
To the best of my ability, I can just say once again that it was the decree of Allah that she was, pregnant with Jesus, and that she had Jesus, and one can kind of like think in terms of how can this possibly happen when there was no intervention of a man in place. But when we take into consideration that Allah, He created Adam without the aid of a woman or a man. Mm-hmm. He created Jesus from Mary, from a woman and not a man. He created also Eve, from a man and not a woman. So Allah created them the way that He see fit.
Mm-hmm. When we look at the Quran is the holy book that Muslims read. And you have some people that try to take an ayat in and take an ayat out. Ayat is a verse to justify their actions. Are they wrong to do something like that? Are they wrong to justify their actions? To justify what they're doing? Because from my understanding, Muslims believe that Arabic is the words of God.
Mm. The Quran was revealed in Arabic. Arabic is the language of the Quran, and there's no defaults or flaws within the Quran itself. In fact, the Quran is basically in the same original contents as it was when it was first revealed over 1,400 years ago. Even though you may have different translations, but when it comes down to the Quran itself, the Quran is Arabic. And wherever you go around the world, if you was to ask for Quran as in Arabic, it's going to be the same. There's not going to be any alterations, any changes in it as well. Now, in terms of interpretations, someone may interpret it to use the best English or whatever language they basically speak to the best of their ability, but sometimes they may take away from the meaning because you got some Arabic words that's not equivalent to some English words.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what some word you say some words in translation of this, but you're saying the authentic Arabic. Not I'm going to say authentic. The Arabic is the same in the Quran, no matter what Quran that you go to.
Long as it's Arabic.
Okay.
I'm not speaking in terms of transliteration.
Okay. And the Quran, from what I understand, the Quran was delivered to Prophet Muhammad. Was it by an angel? Or did he think about it by himself?
The Quran was revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, by way of the angel Gabriel.
Okay. Do y'all hear that? And the other thing is, would you say that Christians and Muslims, they believe in the same God?
It's kind of hilarious that you say it, because I know a lot of times, they say, well, we believe in the same God. But then again, I would kind of like different with that, because we believe in Allah, that there's none worthy to be worshipped but Allah. And so when you say, you believe in God, I don't know exactly which God you're referring to. You may say we all believe in the same God, but yet still you have a lot of people consider Jesus as God, or they may, like you got some religions, they have hundreds of gods,
It's
So-
not to the listening audience. Is Jesus or Esau God?
No,
Is what, to educate, to give, I'm not going to say like the audience is ignorant. I shouldn't say that. To give knowledge to the people that are looking at this. Is Jesus like Esau, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost? If so, why or why not? Tell us. Teach us.
That's a religious point of view from some, according to my understanding in my research, was that they came up with the concept, or they agreed with the concept in terms of the Trinity back during the Council of Nicaea. But let me say this. There's a principle that I believe in, which I call the 3L, 3R, 3L versus 3R. And what I mean by 3L versus 3R is that we have to have control of that. The 3Ls basically being our feelings, our desires, and our ego. The 3Ls. And on the right, the 3Rs is our logic, reasoning, and common sense. And a lot of times people be geared towards going according to how they feel or their desires, more so than using logic, reasoning, and common sense. And in regards to that particular question, a lot of times we just accept whatever someone tells us without doing our own research and study to find out more. We just take things and just, as it is, and we don't question it, and we just accept it.
So according to the Muslims, Esau, Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him, is not the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
No, he was a prophet of Allah. He was one of the prophets
Okay.
that was sent by Allah.
May I ask you, brother, when we talk about the prophets, were all of the prophets Muslims? And if they were Muslims or not Muslims, could you tell us why, in your opinion?
One of the things that people fail to realize and understand is what is a Muslim. A Muslim is one who submits his will to do the will of Allah. And whenever you submit yourself to carry out the will and the will of Allah, you submit that to do what is right, more than right, correct, according to correct revelations, well, then you consider as a Muslim. So anyone that basically submits their will to do what Allah says for them to do, and conduct themselves accordingly, well, then they can be considered as a Muslim by basically, doing the declaration of faith.
What is the declaration of faith to you? I know what it is, but go ahead.
They
don't know, but some of them don't know. But
we're saying that there is none worthy of worship but Allah, and Muhammad was his messenger. Peace and blessings not be upon him. And I feel and know that a lot of times people have the wrong conception about Islam or understanding about Islam, not even knowing anything about Islam. So you have people that give their opinion or disassociate themselves with being Muslim or Islam or whatever without even knowing anything about Islam. You have people that never read the Quran. You have people that don't even know who Prophet Muhammad was. They get mixed up with who he was. We're speaking about Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, that came over 1,400 years ago, in which the Quran was revealed to. If they was to look at the contents of the Quran or the message that the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, they have a better understanding. You'd be surprised how many people don't even know who Prophet Muhammad is.
Yes. And this is going to deviate from Esau, Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him. There are many, many, many people, and I would say they're among the ignorant to a certain degree, to say that Muslims mistreat their women and they force them to cover up in a wide hijab, and they're forcing them to do that. And first of all, why would a person say that somebody's forcing a woman to wear hijab, like the picture we're looking at, and to do things that are Islamic? And why would somebody even say something like that out of ignorance? We're forcing them, and we're beating them, and we're making them wear the hijabs, and we're making them wear a niqab. A niqab is something that they cover their faces up with, and you have women walking around like that, actually not with their mask on during this virus. But can you explain?
You answer the question yourself. It's all about ignorance, because they don't know, they don't understand. The Muslim sisters, they do that because they want to. They do it because they require from them to do so by Allah, so they basically submitting their will to do the will of Allah, which makes them Muslim.
Because you know what? For those that don't know, me and Brother Ali and Muslims, we're slaves. And you know what we're slaves to? We're slaves to Allah. You know what? And there's nothing wrong with it. But you say it's a misconception, it's out of ignorance that they would say that a man is forcing a woman, Muslima, to wear hijab and cover up.
Yes, it's out of ignorance, We cannot force anyone to do anything against their will. They got to do it on their own. There's no compulsion in the deen of Islam.
But you know what, Brother Ali? Yeah, I'm going to get back to Jesus. Peace and blessing be upon him. When I get through with this. There's some people that say, man, I don't like Muslims because they blowing up things, they causing havoc all around the globe. And I don't think they look at Mecca and they don't look at the whole Muslim community because they're bad. They're bad people in every denomination. Would you comment on that? I prefer not to.
Well, a lot of things that may be going on that's happening, they want to contribute it to Islam, but Islam speaks totally against the actions of these people. You see, we cannot basically judge Islam based upon someone that is not practicing or following the Quran, following the Sunnah, the examples of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, and try to judge Islam off of that. So we got to go to the contents. We got to go to the source. A lot of times they speaking about things, but they're not looking at the source. They're not looking and saying, well, what does Quran say about this, or what does Quran say about that, and whether or not someone is actually following that. See, if I could say that I believe in this, but if I do something contrary to that, well, then that makes me become hypocritical to that which I say I believe in. So don't judge the hypocrisy on Islam. Judge it on the individual in terms of their weakness, in terms of their lack of understanding in regards to the deen.
Now, you know what? Now, getting back to Jesus, I think it can be proven that Jesus, peace and blessing be upon him, when he prayed like as a Muslim, that he prostrated and put his head down to the ground. That can be proven.
According to the scriptures, he prostrated, he made sajda, he put his head on the ground, whatever, praying to his Creator. So if he's praying to his Creator, he wasn't praying to himself.
Yes. You know what? And as we look at Jesus, peace and blessing be upon him, did he ever say, pray to me? Pray to me.
No.
I am the God. Pray to me. Did Jesus ever say that? And why do you say no?
No, I mean, to my knowledge, he never said that because they'll be going against what Allah has instructed him to do, to worship Allah alone and don't associate any partners to him. So he can't compete. He can't compete with the Creator. Mm-hmm. He's a servant of the Creator.
So you saying Jesus never said worship me? He never said to bow down to me. Never said that.
To the best of my knowledge, no.
You know, I was looking at Dr. Z on YouTube, and you know what he said? He's a Muslim brother that does lectures on YouTube. He said, you could show me in the Bible where Jesus said, bow down and worship me. I'll come to Christianity right now. You know what the Christian, he said, show that to me in the book. And for some reason, the Christian didn't have the ability to show Dr. Z that in the book. And that's something that you need to think about. You need to think about that, you know. And ask you something, Brother Ali. If I do something, if I go out there and do some wrong, I do something bad, do you think it would be justified for you to get the punishment?
No, everybody's responsible for their own actions.
Okay.
That's only fair, that's only just. I mean, you never seen someone, going to courtroom and saying that somebody else, paid for their sin or whatever the case may be.
So can you explain that there is something that people in the Judeo-Christian society believe? They believe that Jesus died for their sins. Can you explain that? Can anybody die for your sins? Anybody?
Based upon the concept and teachings and ideology of Islam, no, everyone is responsible for their own sins. We are on this earth to be judged by Allah. Allah is going to judge us according to our actions, our good deeds as well as our bad deeds. And so it's just basically a test. And we have a limited free will to do as we will. We can obey or we cannot disobey, but yet still there are going to be consequences behind our actions. So everyone is basically responsible for their own actions. You cannot put your fault onto someone else.
Now, there's a belief I would like to ask you that Christians or people in the Judeo-Christian society believe that we were born into sin. Were we born into sin?
No, we were not born in sin. No, when a baby come here.
Why not, and why do they teach that?
I mean, babies come here with a natural order, not knowing anything at all. I mean, that's why you can put babies together, they just play together, whatever. They don't know anything about you different from me and I'm different from you, or I'm better than you, you better than me, or whatever. They just play because it's natural. It's natural for them. How can you say a baby is born in sin?
Doesn't even make any sense.
No. Now, I mean, the act of the man and the woman, basically, they come together, and then they're not married. Okay, well then that's basically in terms of belief and faith that they should be buried in order to basically intermingle like that.
Now this is a big one, and I would like to know for that and get some clarity from you. Did Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him, Esau, did he die on the cross? And if not, can you give some type of explanation from what you know about from the Quran about it?
To the best of my knowledge and understanding, in regards to the incident, even though they say it, there's no proof of it, but we were taught that he did not die on the cross.
What?
Jesus did not die on the cross. The incident that they referred to or they said that happened, that wasn't the prophet Jesus. If it was someone put on the cross, that wasn't the prophet Jesus that was put on the cross. Due to the fact that it was the one that had basically betrayed him or said that he was going to sell him for, I guess they said the pieces of silver, whatever the case may be. that he was the one that was transfigured to the appearance of him.
So if Esau, Jesus, did not die on the cross, what happened? What happened to him?
He was taken up through the heavens by the angels. Jesus is the only one that has not been experienced a physical death. We believe that he's coming back because that's basically what is within the deen of Islam. That Isa alayhi salam, he's going to come back, and that he did not die on the cross.
Okay, for people that are just tuning into the Underground Railroad, what we're doing is he's using his knowledge and disseminating information to talk about Islam, and we're specifically talking about. I'm going to say the majority of our questions are about Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him. And hey, I look for more Muslims to come on to talk about the Quran. Okay, and I'm gonna try to get Brother Bilal on it sometime, someday if that's Allah's will. So you know what? Both Christians, and first, what will happen? What does Yama Kiyama mean? What is the Day of Judgment all about? And then I'm gonna follow up with a question. What is that?
The Day of Judgment is a day in which everyone is going to be held accountable for their actions in terms of how they lived, how they conducted themselves here in this life. Most people say that you only live once, but there is going to be a resurrection in terms of us going to be raised up by Allah, and we're going to be held accountable for our actions.
Yes. And we, both Christians and Muslims, believe that Esau, Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him, will come back. And when he comes back, what's going to happen? Will he come back? And what will happen once he come? If your answer is will he come back, and what will happen? On the day of Yama Kiyama, the day of judgment.
Whenever he come back,
Okay, 3 minutes.
Whenever he come back, inshallah, he's just going to basically bear witness to the truth that there is only one worthy of worship, but Allah, and that he wasn't God, and he wasn't, the son of he wasn't the son of God. But let me mention one thing too, is that I don't want it to seem as though we are battering the face of Christianity, anything like that. I'm just basically trying to explain things to the best of my ability. Now it's based upon Islam.
Okay, we got 2 minutes left, brother. I'm gonna give you a minute, and I'm gonna take a minute. Assalamu alaikum. It might be something that you want to say that I didn't ask you about.
Well, one thing that I would like to see people do, or encourage people to do, because a lot of people do not really understand and know anything about Islam, and I think that they should do their due diligence to basically do a little bit more study, a little bit more research, because I was saying that they don't know anything about Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and it's someone that should be known because he was sent to all of humanity, but they do not know that. I mean, Jesus prophesied him coming when he was speaking in terms of the Comforter, in terms of interpretation of that. They miscrewed it to make people think there was something contrary to what it actually was, but was all referring to Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, coming.
Okay, and brother, I want to thank you, Assalamu alaikum, for coming on the Underground Railroad, and I hope that I hope that you will come back. Excuse me for pointing. Come back to the Underground Railroad, because I've been meaning to get you on for years. Because see, if I was doing battle with somebody, this brother. There's some other brothers I would want to be with. Okay.
No, walaikum salam.
Dawood to Bani Israel, the Injil of Isa to Bani Israel, and the Quran revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to the whole